Be back in, of course, today with another really good one. This video is going to be about, of course, you can tell by the title, how spirits are everywhere, right? And so get into this concept and topic, first understanding what we mean by spirits, right? All right. Whether you want to talk about specifically ghosts, which are AKA beings or, people who were passed on, but they're still floating around in the current dimension that in the current dimension that they lived in or previously lived in, whatever they just died from, they're still floating around because that you may call them lost or they may not even know that they dead. And if they are aware, then they're just strictly just attached to the physical world or whatever realm of reality that they just died or died from. You know what I'm saying? That's what a ghost is. This is where you get hauntings and all that stuff from, because these things are very true and very much do happen. It's just the context that people put them in that may get a person misconstrued on the exact happening of what's actually going on. But anyway, that's ghost. And then, or whether you're talking about a spirit in the sense of a being that died, right, but is actually in a body, not and if and but since we might call it a spirit because we only call it a spirit because it's less dense than us and it's in a higher realm of reality or more less dense realm of reality that we can see with our physical eyes. And so we talk about now spirits that done died 9 times out of 10, if they're not a ghost, they passed on and are actually in the higher body, a lighter. They're in the lighter body. They're one of their light bodies, the lighter body. You see what I'm saying? So they may be taking the body of consciousness. They may be taking the body of just pure awareness. You see what I'm saying? There's different like listings bodies. But if they're not a ghost, but they still died, then 9 times out of 10, they probably passed on. Um, you see what I'm saying? In that shape or form. Now just understanding spirit. That's why I put the specific thumbnail I did, because there's spirits all around, everywhere. And when I say everywhere, in each geographical location all around. From the lowest level, just people even in your neighborhood that done passed around, there's spirits floating through that make that be considered ghosts that are floating through your city, your neighborhood. There is understanding. I made that video about oversouls. There's spirits over each title, word, location, everything. These are what we call oversouls. And you have smaller ones where they may just be so small and it may play out so vague that they just may float around your neighborhood, because maybe they a long time ago and back in the day they lived there before they died there or some shit, like, you know what I'm saying. And so they're ghosts now, aka they didn't pass on and they're still attached to this realm in such a form. So they're just still floating around here. Now eventually, if you're a ghost and your spirit hasn't expanded enough, big enough to ascend or go into a higher vessel and actually create a body in that realm, then 9 times out of 10 you're still floating around as a ghost, but you're eventually gonna get born again down here again because you're still down here. That's what they mean when they say looking for parents, looking for the light, all that stuff like that. But just understand that. So this goes all around. So you got spirits on many different levels. From just your, like I said, your average just ghost that floating around that may influence different. Like, okay, say you talk about a gang. Let's say like LA or something, or Compton or whatever. Bloods, Crips, really in whatever area, but specifically let's say a specific area like that. Okay, you got us. There's a spirit over the blood gang. Period. There's a whole spirit over the whole blood gang, and everywhere in the United States, there's a spirit over the blood gang. I don't give a hell. I don't give a damn what blood you are. I don't give a damn if you're a blood from motherfucking Hooverton. I don't give a fuck if you're a blood from Compton, Bompton. I don't care if you're a blood from Paru or Damu. I don't care if you're a blood from New York. I don't care if you're a blood from Atlanta, slime blood. I don't care if you're a blood. There's an energetic signature and a spirit that's over the blood organization as a whole. AKA, what was that? That's the first spirit to create blood. That was the first spirit to have the idea of blood, of what it is to be a blood, and that had the first idea of a blood gang in general and being a blood gang member or forming a blood gang. That was the first person to do that. The first person that did that and carried that out physically, that's the energetic essence of the blood energy in general, and that's the oversoul of the blood in general. So how bloods do things is how that spirit likes to do things, because it's different than the spirit that might have been the first spirit to be a crip or created the concept to be a crip and carried that out. The crip and the blood was two different spirits, two different people. They didn't see the same viewpoints per se. Now they had some similarities, the fact that they even in gang in the first place. So I'm not saying they didn't share certain similarities. We all do in different spectrums, but it's spirit in the way that they vibrate and how they carry out themselves and express themselves. There's from different places spiritually. You see what I'm saying? So the way the original Crip wanted to do things and the way the original Blood wanted to do things was two different things, right? Now then, here's the thing: spirits versus spirits, aka spirits that follow other spirits. This is where we get the concept of oversoul, because an oversoul has many different spirits within it, many different people that's in it on many different levels. That's why I say it's many different levels. Think of it as a ladder scale, but just think of many different levels. Period. Because when you look at it like this, right? Check it out. You got, like I said, the overall spirit that's over the blood, but then you got different blood sets within that. So once you get to, let's say, the Damus or the Pyrus, that's a specific spirit. Like I said, any name and title is attached to spirit, to a particular oversoul, which is a particular spirit. So the Pyru blood spirit is I don't want to say underneath, but it's in the same space as the overall blood spirit, but it's got its own section. So it still resonate with that spirit and relativity to the overall blood spirit, but it's got its own. It's a piece of it. You see what I'm saying? It's a piece of it, and it's it the let's say the Pyru spirit, that the first person to be a Pyru ever, that be probably a different motherfucker than the first I don't know I'm just naming it the first Denver Lane blood, or the first blood that was somewhere else. Like I don't want to get too specific because I don't remember all the names. But let's just say the first that was a Pyru versus a blood that was in a whole another sect, whether it was cool or not. Those was they shared spaces spiritually for them to be bloods, but they also had their differences. You see what I'm saying? And so each spirit had its own uniqueness. And no matter who you are or where you always gonna have your own uniqueness in spirit, whether you're on the same vibration and frequency of something or not. That's even like with colors. You got orange as a color. Orange is orange. All oranges fit into the is orange itself. That spirit, that's orange. That spirit, that oversoul, because that's a name in the title, so that's automatically fourth dimensional energy. That's oversoul. And really, I want to say fifth dimensional too, because orange has a certain type of vibration to it. But we didn't go that far into that. Just understanding the first place, like I said, orange is the overall oversoul of orange. But then you got different substrates, different sets, different shades in it, and all these different shades are different vibrations. So burnt orange and the energy that emits and the way that make you feel and the energetic vibration of that is gonna be different than red orange. Them two different spirits, but they all fit into the orange category. Now they may war with each other, they may not get along, this and that, but they all fit into that same orange category, in that they all underneath in that same under that same oversoul, the overall oversoul of orange itself. I'm just breaking it down because even though it may sound funny, this is the best way to break it down, because this is how you understand the overall universe, the overall God. You see what I'm saying? Because there's always space within space and all that stuff like that. So spirits within spirits, the same way we got many different cells and beings within us, from a smaller level to a bigger level. That's like with Africa. You got Africa itself as a whole continent. That's a huge spirit down here. That might have died. You see what I'm saying? That died. That's the whole mass of Africa itself, and it's that oversoul. But then Africa got many different oversouls within it. It's got Uganda. It's got Congo. It's got like I said, Congolese. It got Nigeria. It's got Liberia. It's got Sudan, Mali. It's got all kind of other different souls in it. And then within those particular states or countries, it's got states in it. And then within those states, because those states will be the oversouls too. And then within those oversouls and states, then it's got different cities. These are smaller, lesser spirits that take over smaller levels of terrain, because it's smaller in size. It's not expanded as large as the whole continent itself, or the whole country itself, or the whole state itself. So it may just be a certain county district or county size spirit that rule over that particular county, and everything that's in that county, the way that it do things, that's the way that the beings that's in that county may act. You see what I'm saying? Whether it's energy that's still present in the spirit realm or it's dead energy, it don't matter. The first person to do that, that's everybody, because somebody had that on their mind first to do that in the first place. You see what I'm saying? Or else you wouldn't have laws for it to be like, oh, you do this, in my country or my city or county or whatever. But over there in Russia, it's some completely different things. Okay, that came from somebody's mind, right? That was a concept, right? And we know thoughts are fourth dimensional, that right? So when a person caught that, the way a person was vibrating, you see what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get into all that, but let's get deeper to what we're gonna say before I get off. What I want to end it off with saying was this. So there's spirits all around. So let's say you in Hawaii, there's many different spirits that are floating around in that particular space. Um, and you see a lot of these spirits that they pray to or that they give reference to or honors to or religious wise or spirituality wise. You when you look up, say you look up Maui or the spirits of Maui, the spirits of Hawaii in general, or even let's just say the whole Polynesian islands in general, Tonga, Samoan, the Samoan people, the Samoa, all that stuff. Like there's all many different types of spirits that are still in these regions. When you look at America, there's many different spirits that are around here, and I'll talk about ancient spirits too. By the way, that that in America, there's many different spirits. There's many different native spirits, many different Indian spirits. There's all kind of spirits. You got certain Aztec spirits in certain places that lift their energy. Um, when you go to Mexico itself, you know it's a lot of Aztecs there. When you go in Central America, period, it's a lot of Mayan spirits, Incan spirits. Once you go to South America, it's a lot of Incan spirits. Like a lot of there's spirits everywhere. You got African spirits, people with their orishas and stuff like that in different parts who do that stuff. And the river spirits, those are in those lands. Those originated from those spaces. So if they haven't left it, because a lot of these, I hate to say it, but if there's a concept of a spirit deity from whether it's a deity, they call themselves a god, some type of spirit or that people give reverence to, something dealing with religions, anything like that, you got to understand that these spirits are still down here. Because for them to be any information about them in the sense of them to be worshipped, then that means that they're still floating around this realm of reality. Period. I don't give a damn what you think is right. Now, here's the thing. Don't look at things as right and wrong because nothing is right and wrong. What a person chooses to do, what a spirit chooses to do, a spirit chooses to do, just like you. What you choose to do with your power is what you choose to do with your power. Now, what you get back from that because of the space that you in negatively, and that's what you manifest from that, that may be one thing, yes. But just what you do in period is no right or wrong to this. It's how you transmit these energies and how you go along with them and have balance with them and make sure that you're doing what's the best for you. It's really not about worrying about somebody else, but that's even besides the point. My whole point that I'm saying is if there's any spirit that's attached to any type of religion here, any spirit that you have that exists as an idea or a concept for you to be able to worship or for you to worship, period, is by default a demon. Meaning, I don't even want to use the word demon, although that's technically what it is, because it's lower nature that doesn't want to ascend, it doesn't want to detach from this from reality, it wants to stay stuck. That is demonic natures by default. But don't even look at it as a demon. Just look at it as a spirit that if it's something that you can still worship or it's just something that is an idea or concept that you know to exist that is to be worshipped, that means it's still down here, period. So I don't care if it's a Maui spirit, a Polynesian spirit. If it's being worshipped in some shape or form, it's still down here. Don't even look at it as demon or nothing like that because everything has its good and bad. What's good for a group of people may not be good for you. So I ain't even gonna call these spirits demon. That's almost blasphemous for me to even call them that because even though it's still a lower nature, which what you would call too is demon, it's nothing right or wrong in these things. And like I said, what's good for the Maui, the Samoan people, they may need to attach themselves to those spirits because even though it's not the all and be all per se, and there's many limitations and many different things, they may be on a spirit travel, but they need those things. And more than not, it's probably going to benefit them because it is not only their bloodline, but their spiritual bloodline and what they're attached to. So no, y'all need to, if you in that, what you in, you do what you do, but make sure it resonate with you. And that takes a sense of understanding. Shout out to Kai Paldo. Good to see you in here, man. Much love. Everybody go follow you, for sure. But you may be in a situation with African spirits. There's spirits around there. Orishas that get worshipped. They're still in this realm of reality. Now, how big and expanded they are in this realm of reality versus how influential they are versus how small they are. That's in each individual spirit. The more influence it has, the bigger the spirit. The more land mass it takes up, aka more people know it in different areas, it's the bigger the spirit. So when you look at this spirit, like let's say Shango or something like that in Africa, that's a pretty nice sized spirit. That's a broader spirit. It may not be as huge as the Shivas and certain other spirits, but overall that's a decent sized spirit because it takes up a lot of land mass. It not only takes up certain parts of Nigeria and in Yoruba land around in Africa, it also takes up space even stretching out to the Caribbean. with Trinidad with Trinidad Tobago, with Haiti, certain parts of Haiti, Cuba, Brazil. You see what I'm saying? Brazil. You know, all around it, it spreads out. So we know that that's a broad spirit. When you look at what's my boy name? Bawon Samedi. Samedi. I don't Bawon Samedi. The one of the Haitian voodoo lore. When you look at him, he's in a situation where his spirit is broad as well. His spirit is very broad too. Now, not to compare another spirit with another spirit, but we know his spirit by default is broad because it's in a situation where it covers a certain amount of landmass. And what I mean by that, like I said before, that means it's known in multiple different places. See, if you're just known in one place, I'm not saying that makes you eminently small, but that means you may be less known than another spirit, meaning your energy doesn't take over as much landmass as another person because you're only known in one particular area, one particular mass. But when you stretching like him, he may stretch from Haiti all throughout Haiti. He may stretch through Louisiana all the way to Louisiana, different parts of Florida. Um, you know, probably many different places. Even you may not even know it. Mississippi, Alabama, possibly in certain parts. Uh, I'm not saying the whole exact state, but that energy is there. That energy is stretching out, linger. Probably certain parts of Tennessee. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just even in parts of Africa. You see what I'm saying? So you know that's how you know a spirit's size. But regardless, if you a spirit down here, if you a spirit, any type of reverence and worship, if you being worship, if you being reverence, if you being given offerings to, by default, you a person could call you demon, but I'm gonna get away from the term demon. Just look at it like, because that don't really matter if you're demon or not. You still have the power to ascend. That don't even listen to the term demon. But just know if you're down here in such a perform, you're still in this realm of reality. So you haven't fully passed on, and or you're still down here floating around. Period. And if that's what you want to do, ain't nothing wrong with that. Because you may be spiritually, this may be make you comfortable. To some spirits, that probably make them comfortable. You know what I mean? Because this may be where they're birthed from. Period. So it's not like they're doing nothing right or wrong. This is just their path, and that's what's up. Really, if you think about it. Yeah, but if you know it's not for you, just you don't do it. You don't f up. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the waters get tricky. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But if a person is doing that and it's for them, nigga, it's for them. It's not no right. That's why I don't get into right and wrong. But shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Courtney. And so we don't be no right or wrong when you come to these things, right? And then in and out, like when Indian get out, it's just everywhere. There's spirits all around. Even when you look at China. Now I love me some Asia. I used to be hating at one point, but like there's a certain good relationship or rapport I built with Asia as a whole. So shout out to Asia. So let's get into China. You see what I'm saying? When you look at China, there's many different spirits over the tile. There's spirits over certain what they call mythology, because mythology is really just for you to even have a certain concept and idea. That's the mental realm itself. The mental realm is a part of the spirit realm. All these things are connected. The mental realm, mental world, dream world, astral world. These are all the same things. They're just different levels of it and how far you go into it. But these are all the same things. I told you, fourth dimension is mental energy. That is the ability to have a thought. If they cut up in your head right now, say I'm thinking right now, they cut off my head, will they ever be able to see what I'm thinking? No. When I'm sleeping and I'm dreaming, would they be able to see what I'm dreaming that I'm at? No, but we all know the dream world is much more vast and broader than this world. Yet if they cut my head open, they won't be able to see me or whatever my mind is emanating. Whether they try to say it's producing from the brain or not, it don't really matter because you can't physically see these things. So they exist for me to be able to see them and interact with them, but you can't physically see them. Why? Because they're in the higher vibration, the higher frequency. They're in a less dense realm. But that's just understanding that. You see what I'm saying? But my whole point is when you look at these other like say Chinese spirits, getting back to the point, right? Like what's that man name? Um damn, what that man name? These different deities, that Chinese deities, like where they talk about the dragon spirit or the certain general gods, the Tzu, sun god, all them different gods, them Chinese beings. Guess what? They're still in this realm of reality. For them to even be a thought or concept or idea to be worshipped, anything that can be worshipped, given an offering to, that you even have an idea in this realm of in this realm of reality about in that way and manner, is automatically in this realm of reality because it sucks to say, but they attach this realm of reality. That don't mean that they weak. That don't mean that they don't got certain abilities. That just mean that what their spirit is on a path of being attached to this reality, and that's what they choose to do. They don't want to pass on for whatever reason, whether it's fear, whether it's just them being attached to this and period, and they don't give a damn what's on the other side, better or not. They just feel like, man, F this, this is what make me feel comfortable, this is spiritually what I'm from, and this is what I want to indulge myself in. And ain't nothing wrong with that, because that's 100% that spirit's, that's their spirit's right. Regardless of what we hate or not, that's that spirit's right, right? But moving on, that's like that. And then you got many different spirits. Japanese spirits, you got spirits, Japanese spirits, with the onis and all kind of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's hundreds of different spirits that interact, and don't get it effed up, because these spirits do interact with mankind, but they don't interact in the way that y'all think. Yeah, a lot of times the government gets us punked on purpose with woo 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 gaga type stuff, touching on the back of your neck and haunting you and touching you and pushing you down the stairs. That's not how things work. Remember, since these spirits are less dense, the bodies that they are in are less dense than ours. So the way that they affect us is through our less dense bodies, aka our what? Mind and feelings. This is why when you go into each state, each city, each, remember I told y'all about oversouls over each city, state, and all that stuff. This is why when you're going from one city to the next city, you feel different, don't you? You don't feel the same when you in Fort Lauderdale going to West Palm Beach per se. You don't feel the same way you going to West Palm Beach that you feel going to Jacksonville. You don't feel the same Jacksonville you feel going out into Atlanta. Why? Because these are all different spirits and oversoul, let alone the oversoul of that whole land mass, whatever city you talking about or state, whatever in general. There's many different ones in there, different substrates in there, like I talked down, broken down. So this is why you feel the presence that you feel, because you gotta understand these things are less dense, so they first affect you through your less dense bodies. So it's not like you finna be walking down the hallway, even if the house is haunted, because that very well will exist. And like something gonna come pushing on your back. Now I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna try to lie to you. Now listen, if a spirit can be so attached to its reality that it can affect the physical in many different ways. But that's not like every single spirit. But it's possible. But it's still not the way that people try to make it like, oh, yeah, and I got pushed down the steps, a flight of stairs. That's not really how it works. But you do have some spirits that are so low, so attached to this that they vibrating so low, because lowness is heaviness. That's how we even in the physical body for. That's what physicality is. Physicality is heaviness. It's dense. It's so dense. It's stable. It's not moving. You see what I'm saying? It's vibrating so low. It's stuck. It's like that energy. It's stillness. And the heavier something is, the more solid it is. The more heavy it's vibrating. So if a ghost or whatever is vibrating that low because it's so attached on the density so low, you already know right off the bat. Okay, boom, right? And there's a possibility that this thing can affect the physical realm in many different ways. Whether it's play out as something getting knocked off or knocked over, or it play as certain things happening in your household in many different ways. But it's not. It's I don't know how to explain it, but those things happen. But they usually when it happens on less dense levels, right? Because they're dealing with our less dense bodies, our minds, our feelings, all that stuff, our emotional bodies, our mental bodies. So the last thing you need to think about is something physically attacking you. It's gonna be on your mind first. You see what I'm saying? This how people, this how people get in depression. They take their own life. What happened? They're gone. You could say, oh, that the spirit came over them to do that. But guess what? Guess what? It was affected at. It was on their mind. Then it was on their emotions and feelings, and it ended up propelling them to do that to themselves. Now you can be a spirit and do this to your own self in general too, because it's not always gotta be something outside of you. I'm just giving an example how things get affected. And so this is why when you go into different cities, like I said before I end this out, you feel the way that you feel. Because each city, each state has a different spirit over it. It has different spirits in it, period. You see? And that's how that plays out. Now, this is why you may go somewhere and you don't like that energy. You may go to another place and you love that energy. All that's saying is the place that you went in that you like, and depending on how much you like it, if you really, really F with it, that means there may be some spirits in there that either favor you or that you favor that you like, and that's something you want to experience because the spirits that's in that area. Because when you say energy, you just feeling a bunch of spirits energy. Those spirits, that's what you want to experience. That's something that you want to experience in your path. at the moment. That may either more in your favor or something that's more aligned with you at the moment in whatever way. And if it's a place that you feel is more negative, you like F this. And the more you hate it or the more you like F this, I never go there. That means the spirits there you want no parts of really. And I'm talking about subconsciously because whatever experiences and energies that's going on in that city, your spirit does not want to experience that at all, whether it's already experienced that before or that's just completely unaligned with you and who you are spiritually and what you like to do. So don't do that then. That's why we gotta listen to ourselves too. This is why we have gut feelings and intuitions and stuff like that. But yeah, that's understanding spirits. So it's spirits everywhere. There's many different spirits. There's spirits in Mexico. You got Mexican spirits all around. Ancient Aztec spirits that get worshipped to this day that didn't want to pass on, so they still floating around and living their life the same way we live in our life. But they're in a higher level of life technically. But they're still in low density for them to still be in this realm, and they doing things accordingly to how they live their lifestyle and what they resonate with. Good, whatever you look at is good or bad. You don't know what the hell they be doing. Could be some crazy treacherous stuff. Same stuff they probably was doing back then. Nah, the stuff they were doing back then, the same stuff they doing now spiritually. Because what you doing now, you usually continually do it. You may do it in a new form. You may even do it in a new way. But that energy is something that you're gonna 9 10 out of 10 continue to do unless you choose to switch up that pattern. But like I said, it's spirits everywhere. You got spirits everywhere. You got spirits in Hawaii. You got spirits and there's probably spirits in Antarctica floating around that you don't know nothing about. There's spirits that it's all kind of spirits everywhere. You see what I'm saying? European spirits, people that done died, go smaller forms, larger spirits that's more ancient. Because the more ancient you are, usually the more larger you are, because you have more experience, and so you probably lived a whole bunch of times. So you some old ass ancient spirit that done been did this here and there and the third. You see what I'm saying? So that's how that play out. But I'm gonna get out of here, man. I just want to talk about the spirits and how there's spirits everywhere. Many different spirits. From a lower level everywhere. From a lower level to a greater level. A lower level is just, let's say, just ghost that just died or something like that. That's just attached to this realm. Higher level, think of ancient spirits that's been in that space. That's everywhere, all around different locations. It's ancient, but they died a long, long time ago, ancient, and they're still attached to this realm. They don't want to move on, so they may be too big to take a body again, like some of the ghosts who are eventually gonna take a body, but still floating around here while they lost and may not know they dead. But they also, they too big to take another body, but they also attached to this realm. See what I'm saying? And these have even more power and authority. And these take over greater land masses and locations. You see what I'm saying? Because of their spirit size. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. This is a great video, man. Much love to y'all. I hope y'all actually understood what I'm trying to say. But always feel free to ask questions not only in the comment section, ask questions in the chat section. To, hit me up, DM, whatever you want to do, because I definitely get back with you either with a video itself or just definitely edify any topic that you need me to edify on. With that being said, much love, man. Much love, y'all. Take it easy.